Mike?
Hello.
How are you?
Mr. President, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Well, it's great to talk to you.
I gotta tell you before we get into this, my wife and I love you. I was actually telling her about our interview today, and she was like, "Oh my God, what if you guys become friends and end up following each other on Twitter? And if he comes over for dinner, what do I cook?"
What's her specialty?
She's Puerto Rican. She does a lot of stuff that she got from her grandmother and her mother. So.
Well, I love Puerto Rican food. Sasha loves plantains. That may be her favorite food of all time. So, we who knows? We may show up.
Well, I'll pass the word along to her. So you're on the phone with us today to encourage people to vote. And I hear a lot of people saying that they want to, but they don't feel like they're informed enough. So what would you say to that?
Here's what I would say real simply. Number one is you have to vote because your voice makes the democracy work. If you sit out, that's actually like voting for Donald Trump, because the truth of the matter is that when you don't vote, you're giving somebody else the power. So that's point number one. Point number two, Hillary Clinton is an outstanding public servant. She worked for me as Secretary of State. Even Republicans said she was good until she decided to run, and then suddenly they started saying terrible things about her. But she's just a really competent, hard-working person who cares a lot about families, and she's got a proven track record.
And on the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who has no political resume whatsoever.
And shows just complete contempt and disregard to basic values of decency and treating everybody with respect and treating women with respect. And so this should not be a close call. There are rare times where you get like a really clear choice.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond the usual Republican-Democrat stuff.
What about for like our target demo, a lot of kids in college? Why is Hillary the right decision for them?
For young people in particular, if you care about student loans and making sure that you don't have boatloads of debt, because we need to lower the cost of college for young people who care about the environment and climate change and want a president to take those issues seriously. These are all issues that are decided in this election. You can't sit it out. Turnout in Philadelphia always makes a huge difference. And I guess the last thing I'd say would be if you support the work that I've done over the last 8 years, the only way to build on that is to make sure to vote for Hillary, and by the way, also vote down the ticket. So you got to vote for senator. And Katie McGinty is an outstanding Democratic candidate for senator. She will help break some of the gridlock here in Washington that we've been seeing.
And this is actually the first election your daughter Malia is able to vote in. What was the preparation for that like? What were the conversations like?
Malia is somebody who has been sitting around the dinner table listening to us talk and has no shortage of opinions.
Yeah.
She actually voted in the primary and dragged her friends along to vote, even though in Washington, D.C., it wasn't a determinative election because at that point Hillary had already won the primary. But she just wanted to show her friends it's not that hard to do. This takes 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And now she's actually overseas, but she got her absentee ballot on her own and made sure that she voted.
I love it. Before we wrap up, I know you're a big college basketball fan. So, do you think Villanova will do it again next year?
Great coach, great program, and I have to say that these days college basketball is just so up for grabs every year because, it used to be when I was growing up, you had somebody like a Larry Bird or a Magic Johnson or even a Michael Jordan who would stay 2-3 years in one program. Now, you got somebody who starts getting good and immediately they're going to the NBA. So it's hard to say, but that gives an advantage to schools like Nova that have just great programs and a great coach. And so I guarantee you they'll be back in the tournament, but I got to see him play a little bit before I put my money on him to win the whole thing.
Mr. President, thank you so much for spending time with us.
It was a great pleasure, Mike. Say hi to your wife.
I will.
And make sure to keep on letting people know they've got to vote in this election. The polls close at 8 o'clock in Pennsylvania. Go to iwillvote.com if you need to know where to vote. If you're in line when the polls close, you can still vote. All
Absolutely.
right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.